Hello and happy Friday, my tiny tummy family. So my name is Jen Bailey and I'm a VSG athlete, and today I wanted to go over my experience with weight loss surgery and just talk about like any kind of pain issues, anything like that, just to let people know kind of what they're in for, you know, should they choose to have it. So let's get into it. Yeah. So what kind of weight loss surgery did you have? I had VSG, so it's vertical sleeve gastrectomy. What they do is go in, they remove about 80% of your stomach and kind of make it like a banana shape. They pull out that 80% excess, and you know, that's what you're left with. It definitely can't hold a whole lot, just a few ounces. You have the possibility of stretching it out if you overeat or have like carbonated drinks or stuff like that. But that's the surgery I had, and we'll talk about my experience with it. So how long does the procedure take? It could take anywhere from about 45 minutes to a little over an hour. It just depends on each person, you know, what kind of things the surgeon's working with, your body size, how much they have to get through, and any complications that may arise through there. Mine was just like under an hour. So not too bad, but you're asleep the whole time. So you're under general anesthesia. Go in, awake, they give you your medicine, and then all of a sudden you wake up and surgery's done. But yeah, it's not hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. It's pretty simple for them. Your surgeons know what they're doing. So how many incisions does the surgeon make with weight loss surgery? Well, particularly with VSG, it could be anywhere from 4 to 7. It just, again, depends on each individual. It depends on that surgeon, and yeah, what's going on with your body. I believe I had 5. And yeah, like for me, a couple of the scars are like pretty easy to spot, because I have, what's the, like, keloid? I get keloid, so they thicken up. But for the most part, they just kind of blended in with my stretch marks. In fact, let me show you. You might not be able to see it so well. I'm gonna do my best working with what I got here, but disclaimer, it's going to look like 10 angry cats, just like down my stomach. It's my body. I am okay with this, but I'm here to show you, you know, kind of my journey and what you may or may not be in for. Now, the stretch marks are from my pregnancies with my now 16 and 15-year-olds, but here we go. So up a bit, so you can see there's already one. I think that was part of it. We're gonna go, here we go, guys. So yeah, that, and then opposite here, there's one right there. Pull the skin, wrong side. You see, so now you can kind of see the diagonal of them. There's one right there, and right there, and there's another one hidden somewhere on this side. That's a loose skin update too, hey. So there it is. There's teeny tiny little things, and in one of them that's where that 80% of your stomach is actually like pulled out of you. Super easy, come home, like I don't think I had any staples on the outside. It was just stitched back up with the little butterfly things covering them. So again, nothing outrageous, but that was my body and what I had on it. So what kind of pain did you feel after surgery? Well, immediately after surgery, when I woke up in the hospital bed, I felt a lot of burning on those incisions. It was just like fire, like kind of stinging pain. I mean, and more so with that one that they pulled the stomach through. Like obviously that had some trauma to it. But that was it. There was definitely aches, and I felt that like the bloating was uncomfortable. But that was pretty much the pain. It's just like, oh, someone's dug into your guts, and that's it. I was still able to get up and walk. They had asked me to like kind of scoop myself up, so I'm sitting up a little more in the bed, and you know, they're like, oh, we'll come and, you know, put our arms around you. And I was like, what? And so before I even like understood what they were telling me, I was just like, and shut myself up on you know, to sit up. And they're like, oh, okay, like you're good, great, cool. So that's it for me. It wasn't that bad, and I'm a huge like weenie. I am not good with pain. If it feels too much, I will have a panic attack, and then just like pass out. So it's not as awful as I thought it was going to be, and that's a great thing, because yeah, we just can't have that around here. Are there any lingering aches or pains after the first few days, and what's recovery like? Yes, so the lingering aches were the biggest one for me that I like most discomfort and I did not appreciate was the bloating and like this kind of gassy feeling, but it's not gassy in your guts, it's like gassy in your midsection. Because they do put carbon dioxide to expand that area, and this way they have, you know, these things in there to noodle around, but they can see better. So that took probably about 3 or 4 days to completely go away, and with that it definitely gave me like some huge shoulder pain, and you know, you just kind of got to go with that. Getting up, walking around, that is supposed to help it. They say some people it'll go away in like 24 hours, but for me it was like 3 or 4 days. And yeah, that shoulder pain was really the worst of it. It didn't, like the incision lines were no longer an issue. It was just like, that was what was so aggravating. But you do have, you know, again, they have like crammed these things into your gut. So you do have that kind of aches. Nothing that like set me out or, you know, made me like just a lump. So it wasn't terrible at all. And the recovery started great from that. I think because my expectation was like level 15, this is gonna be so awful, how am I gonna do this? But I'm so grateful that I'm getting this. And then end result is, it was like a 4, maybe 5. So all is great. What kind of medicines did you take? So post-surgery, I had Tylenol. And I was kind of shocked when, like, pre-surgery, they're telling you all this stuff. You know, yeah, there's going to be pain. You have this new stomach that's just been chopped into, so you have to be really careful with it. Here's Tylenol. I want to say that they gave me a prescription for something else. It starts with a P. Like, it's supposed to be a really strong one, but I didn't take it, and I don't even think I, like, went to the pharmacy to get it, just because that particular prescription doesn't work for me. It's strong for like everybody else in the world, but for me, it literally does nothing. So it's just like, cool, we'll deal with Tylenol. And Tylenol worked. I had like a Tylenol every 6 to 8 hours at like most. It wasn't even a 4-hour like turnaround thing. And that just kind of helped ease the aches of it. So that was really great. They also put a little patch on me behind my ear after surgery to help with nausea. Don't know what that patch is called. And then they gave me some anti-nausea medication, which I did have a few of those the first like 2 days. Even drinking water, like it goes in, but you feel a little like, luckily nothing ever like tried to come back, but that was it. It was pretty much like Tylenol was the consistent thing and in huge spans of time. And that was only for a few days. Like it wasn't, and then you just kind of get used to like, hey, I'm a little achy, and it's no worse than like, you know, ab day, like a few days after. You're like, oh, okay, rip those muscles, let's build them back up. And that's where I was with it. So overall, it was a really, really like decent experience. I'm sure there's other people that have way better experiences, but for me, that one was great, and I was just super grateful to have the surgery. And I knew there was going to be a lot of uncomfortable feelings that came along with it, but they weren't so bad that it stopped me in my tracks ever. Would you recommend the surgery? Absolutely. I would 1000% recommend it. It's such a life changer, and to go through that little bit of chunk of time of having the uncomfortable, you know, discomfort, you know, these few little lines. I mean, my stomach, the skin is already like cat scratch crazy. You know, it's whatever. It's the quality of life is absolutely worth the small discomfort of that surgery. So if, yeah, anyone were to ask, 100%, go for it, because it makes a difference. And I do want to rewatch a couple like of those videos from the beginning, just to see what, you know, I look like. Like I wish I would have taken more before photos, but in my head I was just like, I don't want to, you know, I don't want to deal with that. Like I remember when I was super traumatized of before photos anyways. But now I wish, like, if someone were to have the surgery, take those photos, even if it's like real uncomfortable, you know, don't put your head in there if you don't want to, but it's something cool to see your body like transform and change. And, you know, we can't be hard on ourselves. We have to give ourselves that grace to go like, hey, I did that, you know, you can see that change, and it's a really big deal. And I think I got rid of like one of my last remaining like biggest size clothes. I never took one of those pictures of, you know, my body now versus what I was then in the great big thing. So I would suggest, like, for people that are going to have the surgery, do those kinds of things, because, you know, if you're not vlogging or you don't have this kind of stuff, it's something cool to look back on. And I see a lot of people do it. I'm like, dang, I should have. But, you know, whatever, this is life. Like, we can't live it on shoulda, coulda, wouldas. This is where we are now, so I appreciate that much. But yeah, that's where we're at with the surgery. Someday I will get like the skin removal, but I'm just not there yet. There's still goals that I want to hit, and things that I want to do, and I want to go into it knowing there is no more left to do except remove that skin. And that's where we are. But highly recommend the surgery from the person I was and what I was capable of doing back then versus who I am now. It is such a life changer, and I am so grateful to be able to do all of this cool stuff, to be an ambassador for, Los Angeles Marathon, to run faster and just work harder and not feel like I'm going to fall out on the floor. So yeah, that is it, I believe. But I hope you have an amazing weekend. I think I have enough time right now to get out and go do a training run this morning, so I don't have to do it tonight. But yeah, if you are nosy, if you are interested, whatever it may be, if you want to check out things that I'm doing, some of my fails along the way, absolutely, I'm here, I'm an open book, so you can follow along on Instagram at Jen_Bailey17 or on Strava. See what I'm up to. That's it shows different workouts, whether I'm doing the spin bike in my garage or running around or doing races, hitting PRs and things I never thought that my body was capable of doing. Check that stuff out. If you're on there, I will happily support here, from Lancaster, California. So I do hope you have an amazing weekend. I love you so much. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for learning. Throw your questions in there. Again, I'm an open book. I will happily answer. If you want to send me a DM on Instagram, happy there too. Do have some things on my in the little description box of these. If you wanted to email me, go for that. I'm here. So until next time, sending light, love, and happiness. See you next week.